Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Right, a couple of things I want to talk about today. Both of them are, they're difficult to deal with when you've got people talking about disability in such a negative way all of the time. But first of all, the first thing I want to talk about is this whole situation regarding the number of disabled people now claiming benefits, and the government and the Conservative Party and all the parties and all of the mainstream media are going on about the fact that there's growing numbers of people who are now seeking PIP every single day and things like this. And I actually responded to this on Twitter when someone said that it's ridiculous that all of these people are now claiming benefits, is costing too much money. And I had to reply to it, and I just said, we've got £23 billion of unclaimed benefits in this country. So that's £23 billion that the government aren't spending, that they necessarily should be spending, because these people are eligible for PIP or other benefits. And the fact that they're not doing it is because they have means, and so they don't claim it. But there are now more and more people claiming PIP, and part of it is because of the fact that there is there is a cost of living crisis and everything's going up. All the bills are going up, and people are now feeling they have to claim in order to help support themselves, because obviously we know that PIP is not an in-work benefit or an out-of-work benefit. You can claim it whether you're working or not, and there are growing numbers of people who are working and claiming it because it's helping them make ends meet. And this is the thing that a lot of people who aren't disabled don't get the idea that personal independence payment is there. It's the clues in the name. It's to give the person independence. So it's to help them with their their transport. It's to help them with aids, to help them get to work or do things at work. And this is the whole issue that we're having at the moment. So this is the problem that I think a lot of disabled people are facing at the moment. They're getting a lot of negative press about it all. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was this whole situation where this report came out that apparently said people on benefits are getting more money than people who are working the minimum wage. And my response to that was, well, firstly, that means that small businesses or even big businesses aren't paying their workers enough, because if they're having to pay minimum wage but they're not paying any more than that, then that's obviously that's a bad mark against businesses not paying their staff enough. And when you look at the people who are earning, and what they said, £25,000 a year, that's not everybody. Not everyone is earning that. There might be some who, and I think what they broke it down as, people who are getting housing benefit, they have a child that's getting DLA and they're getting PIP themselves. Now that's not everybody. That's a small proportion of people who are getting that kind of money. The vast majority of people aren't getting that kind of money. And in fact, the vast majority of people are barely making ends meet on what the benefits they get. So these whole things are very disingenuous, and I wanted to talk about it because I think it's important that there are people out there, if they are watching this video and they're not disabled, that this is not something that is an easy thing to do. As I've said many times before, it's not. It's also something which is not champagne and holidays. I know there was that thing in the paper about that couple who were claiming they were living apart and they were actually living together and they had to pay back that money. I understand that, and of course there are going to be people in the system who are going to try and get round things, but as I've said before, the fraud within PIP and Universal Credit is incredibly low. And I think that the issue is not that I think that the people that are perhaps doing these things are now becoming the main part of the media, and now it's making everybody feel that everyone is the same, and of course that isn't the case at all. So it's a very difficult situation, and so I hope that there are people out there that are watching this that aren't disabled, who can understand that this isn't a case of we're throwing money at people or giving people money to stay at home and do nothing. That isn't the case at all. Very often these people are in a lot of pain. They're dealing with very difficult, complex conditions. Many people have more than one condition to deal with. It's not easy. And I said, as I said to another person on Twitter, if you think it's easy, go ahead. Go ahead. And because I think they said something like, oh, all you got to do is tell your doctor you've got a bad back and that's it, you get PIP. Well, we know that's not the case. So I said to him on Twitter, I said, well, go on then. If you think that it's that easy, go to your GP and tell him you've got a bad back and see how far you get. You know, fill in that PIP form, go for that assessment, see how easy it is, because it isn't easy. And I didn't get a reply from any of those people, so I think I might have, I don't know what I did. But anyway, I'm not the sort of person that battles on Twitter usually, but there was a couple of things there that I wanted to clarify for people. So anyway, that's my little rant over. I'm going to be doing, because there are a few people in the comment section who have been talking about the special conditions that the government are talking about for universal credit. So I'm going to be, like, severe conditions, I should say. So I'm going to be doing a bit of research into that. I'm going to be doing a video on what those conditions are, and how you could potentially fit into those criteria. So for people who are wondering that, I'm going to be doing a separate video on that in the next day or two. Also, I've been getting a few emails coming through with some very interesting stuff from the government that's not necessarily part of the benefits situation. And I do have another channel where I talk about these things that aren't related to benefits, which is called Daily Chat with Steve. So I'm thinking, I haven't posted on there for a little while, but I'm thinking of posting on there again, starting to add some of these videos, or add some of these stories that you guys are sending me, because they are really good. And so I might start to put some videos on the other channel as well. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, interested in stuff that's outside of disabilities, but could well be general stuff around the country and, you know, global stuff, then let me know and I will send you a link to the channel. That's it for now. Please do subscribe if you've got this far, and I'll see you next time.